guys, it's Kevin again, and welcome to this month's installment of the movie preview. Of course, in this video, we will be talking about all of the movies that are coming out in March, and overall, March looks like a really promising month for movies. This is probably the biggest month for movies in quite a bit. There's a lot of really big titles coming out for sure, which is really great to see. As usual with me, I do have some guests, though, that I am going to introduce. First off, he's been with me for basically every single one of these, and he's back once again. Here he is, Jackson Fulcher.
Hey guys, this is FilmFan0599 here again for the movie preview. I'm very excited to be here. Let's get it on!
All right, and also with me is someone who you haven't seen on this channel for a while. I think, in fact, it was December of 2019 was like the last time you saw this individual, but he really wanted to come back this month. He's been trying to make his return for a while, but he's had, work conflicts and things like that, but he finally is back here to talk about a few films, not too many, but he's here to talk about a few. Here he is, Timothy Anderson.
What's up, guys? My name is Tony Estrada, and I'm here to join my first movie preview on this. Okay, and then seriousness, my name is Timothy Anderson. I'm happy to be back in this. I haven't done one in a while, and I missed you guys. And, yeah.
All right, thanks, guys, and now we are going to dive into the movies. Now, here's the thing. As usual, I am doing this late. I hate that is the case, though, because there are some films that I am going to be talking about that I have actually already seen. So I can't really give my opinions on how I think some of them look fairly because, well, I've already seen them. And you guys know what those will be when we get to them. I promise it's not too many, though. It's really only like one or two of these films that I don't have anything to say about, like, anticipation-wise because I've already seen them. But anyway, you guys don't care about that. Let's just get into it right now, starting off with this first movie, which did, of course, come out on March 3rd, and that is Moxie.
Me and my friends protested everything. We made a ton of mistakes. But you're glad you did it all right? Of course. What are you gonna do? Nothing?
Whoever wrote Moxie is a badass.
You know what's messed up? I got sent home for wearing a tank top, meanwhile Jason is constantly shirtless.
People refuse to call me by my new name.
I don't like being voted best ass.
It says to draw hearts and stars on your hands to show support. That's hot.
And starting off with Moxie, this is one of those films that I can't really say too much about because I've already seen it. I watched this movie with my girlfriend when it first came out, and I will have my review soon. I will definitely say that this is a very daring film that Netflix is trying to make, and I think definitely it's a film that will definitely appeal to a lot of people, but that's really all I can say about it. I like the concept and things like that and all that kind of stuff, but if you want more details, look on my letterbox and look forward to my YouTube review coming very soon. That's really all I can say about Moxie. It did come out on March 3rd. If you're looking forward to it, you can watch it on Netflix now. But the next film we're going to be talking about is definitely, I think, one of the bigger releases of this month. It's the first film on Paramount Plus, actually, at least for people in the US. Other people, in like Canada and the UK already got this film. But for us Americans, it did, of course, first come out in the US on Paramount Plus, and it's a film that I've been excited for a while now, and here with me to talk about this one is Jackson Fulcher to discuss the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run.
I love my life. I love you so much, Gary. I'll never forget the day we met.
Hello, little snail. What's your name? Gary, huh? Do you want to be friends? Me too.
Gary, I'm home. Gary? Gare Bear? Gary? Gary! Have you seen Gary?
Nope.
Nope.
Gary's been snail napped. Gary!
This thing.
Go.
All right. We're going to start with SpongeBob.
What? Oh, no. Oh, no.
All right.
No,
So, The SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. Yes, this film is finally coming out. Obviously, yes, it has come out for people that aren't U.S. audiences. It came out on Netflix and things like that. But in general, you know, it's finally coming out. It's like a Paramount Plus film. And I've always been in the mind that like I've been mostly excited for this because it is SpongeBob. And, you know, any SpongeBob film is something that I do look forward to for sure. The issues I have with it, though, is that it is very much a, you know, it seems like at least it's a recycled plot line from an episode that we have seen done before, Where's Gary? And they're stretching it out to a cinematic length. So I'm a little worried that that might get, you know, that might get a little bit boring. That might get a little derivative in that way. And I don't really know how to feel about the flashbacks themselves. I don't really know how that's really going to turn out overall. But overall, I think this looks fun. You know, it's a SpongeBob movie, so I think at least I'll have a decent time with it. I like the animation style for the most part. It doesn't look terrible or anything. And it certainly looks much better than what the Camp Coral series is going to end up being. So overall, I would say I'm excited for this.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's talk about that first. Camp Coral looks like absolute shit.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the most disrespectful things to come out in like a long time.
Will not be watching that at all.
No, same. I'm boycotting it.
Wow, this is the one thing you boycott. Okay. Okay. But yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Look, shut up. I like those other SpongeBob movies. The first SpongeBob movie is obviously Major Kino. Great movie. Movie all around. And even like a Sponge Out of Water, which I was hesitant about going into that one. It was like, you know, it doesn't feel like, you know, how the first SpongeBob movie that's written like a movie, and this one it kind of felt like not to like the same level of stakes. I think that's like the difference between those, but it was still a fun time, and they got a lot of funny jokes out of that. And the live action sequences wasn't as bad as I was led to believe going in. This one, immediately they have like, sometimes on SpongeBob I haven't seen them, but I've noticed like they market like their Christmas specials like, hey, we got an entirely claymation episode, and it's like, oh well, I'm glad it's only the one episode, you know. And now we have a movie that's like entirely different style throughout the entire thing, that's different than what the show is. And it's like, look, it does look pretty good for like CG animation, but like it's SpongeBob. I like seeing him in 2D. Yeah. Like it's nice seeing him come out of the water and he's like that CG, like sure, but like the entire movie,
is that SpongeBob in the background?
One second. It's nice when he comes out of the water and it's CG like for that short amount of time, but I'm used to him as 2D animation. And since it's SpongeBob, everyone's used to him as 2D. Why not just have him be 2D for the movie? Like that's what's so nice about those other two. Like the one in 2015 was like, for the most part, it's still 2D animation, which is great to see. And now they're just like, well, fuck that. You know, that we're doing the more modern, appealing to kids kind of animation. It's like, kind of disappointing. And the trailer, like, sure, I feel like maybe it could be fun. I feel like one of us in our friend group has already seen it and is not a big fan of it. So
yeah, I don't know. Who would you be talking about?
Who that is?
Who would you be talking about? I don't know.
I think it's a name that rhymes with Batum. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look all that fun from the trailers. Like it looks okay and nothing too like offensively bad, nothing too like pandering, at least from what they've marketed. But yeah, as far as I know, it seems like it's also like a backdoor pilot for the Camp Coral stuff that won't make any sense narratively, but they're going to have it in the movie. It's canon or whatever. It's like, oh, dear Lord.
And even that doesn't make sense because in this, it's kids that are voicing them, but then in the show, it's like Tom
Kenny back again. Like, well, what are they doing? You know, I feel like I've never looked at SpongeBob as like like an important franchise in my life, at least now, because it's like, you know, the show is still kind of going on, but I'm not keeping up with it. Obviously, I'm kind of not just like that grown out of it, but it's just the humor that they have now. It's not as clever as it was back then. So, you know, it's fine for kids and kids will still love it, but I just choose not to watch that. And it seems like the future of the series is just whatever Hillenberg did, fuck it, whatever he said, fuck it, we're going to do whatever we want with SpongeBob making this other show, and also just doing whatever we want with like the narrative. We got Where's Gary again, then now we have them in a casino underwater or something, and it's all CG animation because we like doing that more than 2D, I guess. Yeah, it's just very disappointing, and I'm not looking forward to it all that much, but we'll see. Paramount Plus original.
Hyped. Very hyped.
Great.
So if you guys are looking forward to SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run, it did come out on March 4th on Paramount Plus, but you can also rent it for I think like $20 on iTunes, but why would you want to do that? It's on Paramount Plus. You can just watch it there. You probably have CBS All Access, which, you know, you definitely should. There's tons of things over there. Live feeds for Big Brother, that's always an option too. That's not what we're discussing in this video, but like that's always, you know, a good option and always a reason to have Paramount Plus. And yeah, so again, definitely excited for that one. But the next film we're going to be discussing is definitely, I think, another one of the biggest releases of the month for sure. It's Disney's first film in theaters in a while, and here to discuss this one with me is Jackson Fulcher to talk about Raya and the Last Dragon.
Let's catch you up. My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can remember. Our people never see eye to eye.
My daughter, I believe our people can come together again, but someone has to take the first step.
Now, in order to restore peace, we must find the last dragon.
I wish to join this fellowship of butt-kickery.
Let's go.
Raya and the Last Dragon. Obviously, this is definitely one of the bigger films to come out in a while, and I think it's super refreshing because we haven't had a Disney animated film come to theaters in quite a bit, and this definitely seems like the right film to come back to. I mean, everything about this feels like a classic Disney film. It's more serious in tone. It has a really classic story as well of, you know, this girl trying to, you know, fight for this town that has kind of gone to shits, and her doing what she can to try to, you know, build it back up again, and then also finding this dragon. And the animation is always, I mean, it's Disney, so obviously the animation looks really great, but the story in particular, I think, again, looks really good here for sure. I'm really excited to see how it does turn out. Great voice cast as well. Kelly Marie Tran, Awkwafina, Bennick Wan. They all look like they're going to do a really strong job here for sure. I think definitely there's a lot of potential. And the directing as well. It being with Carlos Lopez Estrada, who did Blind Spotting. You know, you wouldn't expect him to be involved with something like this, but he is. And it seems like he's going to definitely add a lot to it. I am just, the more I've seen of this film, the more excited I really do become. I remember when that teaser was first released, and I was really just taken aback in a good way by how much more serious in tone it really did feel. It feels like one of the more mature Disney films to come out in quite a bit, and that's definitely one of the reasons I'm very much looking forward to it. So absolutely, this is one of my most anticipated of the month. Cannot wait for this film.
Yeah, similarly, I watched that teaser trailer and I was like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And I was kind of like, whoa, this looks really epic. And apparently, like a lot of people who have already seen are like, yeah, this is like the real deal. Like the action is great. Like obviously it's a family movie, so you're going to have like a lot of funny jokes, but it's also like kind of badass. And that has me really excited because, you know, animation looks stunning. They got a good team of directors at the helm. I checked on IMDb and you know, they all, obviously you mentioned the Blind Spotting guy, which I didn't know he was doing it until I watched Chris Stuckman's review today and he mentioned it and I was like, no way. I had no idea, or I might have forgotten, but I was surprised. And it looks like, it just looks like really different for like what you'd normally see from like, even like, it doesn't have to be like a fairy tale Disney movie. Like Disney has done like Zootopia and other stuff like that, but this looks different even from like other stuff they tried to do, which is always great, you know, keeping it fresh and unique. And I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Although I was confused. I thought Kelly Marie Tran was canceled by the fandom menace for being a lady in Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And for having having the name of an earth plant. I'm confused. Why is she still getting work? I thought we were getting her fired because we hate her because she played a character I didn't particularly like. Oh, there's a plane. It's the Phantom Menace flying over right now to bombard my house.
Yeah.
Rehire Gina Carano. Gina Carano should have been Raya.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Aquafina's in it. And I've only seen like that teaser trailer and like the Super Bowl spot. I haven't seen anything else marketing wise. But like I can't wait to see how she plays a part in this. Obviously, I assume she's going to be funny. But I'm also hoping
that there's like a good
story there too. Yeah, I know she plays the dragon, but like, and also a good design for that dragon, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just very excited all around. Disney animation when they go original usually really, really, really work. I honestly can't think off the top of my head like what's a Disney original like in the last couple years that was like meh kind of mediocre, and I'm having a hard time.
Frozen 2.
That's not an original. That's a sequel. God damn it. But so yeah, this should hopefully be like a really good sign.
So Raya and the Last Dragon, if you are looking forward to it, it does come out on March 5th. Very much looking forward to this one for sure. On both, you can watch it both in theaters, but also on Disney Premier Access for like $30. But come on, just go to theaters to see it. I know it can be a hassle for some people because of COVID and things like that, but definitely this is a film that I think definitely is made for theaters, and it does come out on March 5th. It did come out on March 5th if you are looking forward to it. The next one we're going to be discussing is yet another theatrical release that Jackson Fulcher will be discussing with me. It's a film that was supposed to come out a long time ago. It's been delayed so many times, and it's finally coming out. And once again with me is Jackson Fulcher to talk about Chaos Walking.
It's so loud here.
We call it the noise. Happened to all the men on this planet. Every thought in our heads were on display.
Where are all the women?
They're dead.
What is she thinking? Where the hell is her noise?
It's strange to see everything you're thinking.
You know, it's strange for me too, not knowing what's going on in your head. I mean, I don't know, you might not like my dog, or you want to hit me over the head with a rock or something.
I like your dog.
So, Chaos Walking. This is a very interesting film because this is one that was supposed to come out a long while ago. In fact, you guys can go all the way back to an anticipated video we did on 22 Tiger Dude's channel back in like 2019, I think. I actually had this on my anticipated list for like the beginning of the year. And that was mainly because of the fact that at the time, it had a lot of really recognizable talent behind it. Not just the cast and obviously, the director behind it, but also Charlie Kaufman was involved with it. And you guys know how much I adored Charlie Kaufman as a screenwriter. And then John Lee Hancock and Gary Spinelli and all these other talents were involved with it. And they've left the project since then. They have left the project, and now it's just Patrick Ness, some guy who wrote A Monster Calls, and then someone named Christopher Ford. And I mean, you still have Doug Liman directing it. Doug Liman's a great director when he's not doing Lockdown. He's a great director, but and you still do have a really talented cast here. But if I'm being honest, I just can't get that excited for this one. I think there's a really talented cast. I think the premise of this film isn't a bad one, but it does kind of feel like one of those movies where, we've been waiting for it to come out for so long. It's gone through production hell and all this stuff. It's had really like poor test screenings, and it's finally coming out, and it feels more like a mercy killing than anything. It feels like it's coming out because it just finally needs to. They can't move it around anymore. And again, great cast here. Daisy Ridley, Tom Holland, Cynthia Erivo, Nick Jonas, Mads Mikkelsen, David Oyelowo. I think they could really be the thing that saves it. And I do like the plot line, but I also worry that it's going to be too YA, one of those kind of films. And I feel like what could have actually been, maybe a different type of film, that's something maybe a little more human, something a little more deep, is now going to be a lot more traditional. And I don't know if I'm all that excited for that. So I'm really not that into this one. I'm glad it's finally coming out so I don't have to keep thinking about it and talking about it. But it's really just one of those things where I don't really care all that much. So whatever.
Yeah, it kind of feels like everything else is getting delayed. So what do we have? Chaos Walking? Well, I guess it's your time. This movie is in dangerous. It has a dangerous possibility of going into New Mutants territory as far as being pushed back for so long, and it comes out and it's just. Well, I guess the majority for New Mutants was just, that was all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I hated that movie. So, Chaos Walking is in some really dangerous territory. I know that the YA, it is based off of a YA book series, so, I know that I'm sure there's fans of that, sure.
I guess,
For a
I
reason,
haven't really heard about it.
Yeah, so maybe it can be good just based off of that. Like, it did bum me out when I eventually found out that Charlie Kaufman was no longer involved. Obviously, I wasn't going into it thinking like Charlie Kaufman is going to class up the joint to make this like an art house feature, because it's Chaos Walking. This isn't him directing. Like, I'm thinking of ending things. Or
he was writing it, though. Like, he was one of the writers. So, like,
exactly. But yeah, so at least he might be able to see like where quality could go. Like, he's not going to art it up, but he's going to at least maybe bring it up. But now since he's gone, it's like, oh well, I don't know who we got left. I don't know. For watching the trailer, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like bad, like on the surface. Like, it looks kind of interesting. Maybe something that works better as a book, though. Like, as far as like the whole thought, like hearing thoughts thing. Like, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Is it literally every single thought, or is it just, it's like selective thought just for the sake of like the movie narrative, which can get like if you want to nitpick that. But I don't know. Doug Liman is a really good director, so I'm holding out hope for that too. And I'm not going to count Locked Down against him, because that's we got to make something during quarantine right now for some reason. So I won't count that against him. But I mean, I'm still worried. It wasn't too long ago where this was supposed to come out like in January of this year. Or was that last year? I don't even remember. It was supposed to be a January release at one point. So that could also play a factor. It's got a good cast, but, we've seen good casts do embarrassing shit before and stuff that look maybe promising. I can at least say Tom Holland will probably do a good job, because like more than just like, oh, it's like trendy to like Tom Holland. He's like genuinely like a really good actor, obviously. So I'm excited to see him in this, and Daisy Ridley. It's great to see her do more stuff. Now that Star Wars is over, let's see her do other things. That's great. I'm sure they'll work well together. Mads Mikkelsen, oh my God, he's such a legend. Another Round, haven't seen it. It was nominated for a Golden Globe. But, you got a good cast here. I just hope that walking out of it, I don't, because I'm seeing it Thursday, I hope I don't go, wow, that was some bullshit. Hopefully I go, man, that was surprisingly fun. I'm going to give Chaos Walking a B. Plus. That's my that's my prediction. No, don't go. It's probably a fucking F.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking forward to Chaos Walking, it did come out on March 5th. Definitely hoping to see this one very soon, and definitely hoping for the best, but we'll have to see how that one really does turn out. But the next one we're talking about, thankfully, is not one that I've seen before, that I definitely am going to discuss. It's another theatrical release. It also, it's also has come out recently, and that is Boogie.
Whether you know it or not, right here, right now, you are a coming-of-age story. Mr. Alfred, welcome to AP English.
I prefer my stripper name, Boogie.
No one believes in an Asian basketball player.
Have mercy on my soul.
It's a joke in this country. We can cook, clean, count real good, but anything else, we pick last.
Cause I got it on me.
But if you stick to our plans and we beat Monk, we'll get our shot at the NBA.
Look, have mercy on me.
So, Boogie, this is a film that I overall am kind of conflicted on, because on one hand, I really do like the premise of this, where, we have this guy that he was this he's this basketball player living in New York, and he's dealing with, racism issues and things like that, and he's trying to get this, really good scholarship into college, and I think all of those issues are very important for sure, that he wants to chase these dreams. It just overall, to me, looks a bit generic. I feel like we've seen this story a lot of times before, and y'all know this. Sports movies, not really my jam. Not really something that I usually end up liking all that much, and it does kind of seem to be the case here. I mean, the main actor seems like he's going to give a really good performance, and I think that's definitely something that will elevate this film, but just overall, it's not really a film that is interesting me all that much. I don't think it looks bad by any means, but it's nothing that like I want to rush out and see like immediately. It's definitely a film I will watch, but it's not one that like is like high up on my list. So overall, I think this film just looks kind of decent. But if you are looking forward to Boogie, it did come out on March 5th, and definitely check it out there. Also, another film that came out on March 5th is this next movie that we're going to be talking about, and that is Pixie.
I've got a problem.
What sort of problem?
There's a dead fella in the boot of your car.
Surely there's someone we can trust with a bit of experience in this sort of thing. I've got the perfect person.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, to you too. Guessing you fellas aren't used to being in the hot water you find yourselves in currently, is that correct? We should consider joining forces to get the hell out of here and sell those drugs before people in this town comes knocking.
So let me get this straight. Your stepfather is a gangster.
His old partner in crime was a fella called Father McGrath.
You still work together?
No, their split up was somewhat acrimonious. That bag of goodies is Father McGrath.
You're saying it's priests that are after us?
Deadly gangster priest, yeah.
So Pixie, this one I am definitely really looking forward to. Right off the bat, I really like the premise of this film a lot. You know, we have this girl where she's avenging her mother's death by attempting this heist, and like, okay, we've seen that done before, but what we haven't seen is a heist that goes so awire. There's this criminal gang of priests that end up after her, and I think this just looks like a really fun film for sure. The cast especially seems like they're all going to give really strong performances. Ben Hardy especially had me laughing a lot in the trailer, and I'm looking forward to seeing Alec Baldwin play a priest. It seems like that's not something that you would really expect from him, and I think he's going to really kill it in this film for sure. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, I think style-wise, I think definitely that's something that really does stick out about this film. I think it looks weird and different, and that's something I really do appreciate about it. And Olivia Cooke, you know, she's really proved herself to be a really great actress for sure, and I think here she can definitely give a very strong performance. I think she will give a very strong performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. So this one is definitely pretty high up on my list of ones that I am looking forward to. So if you are looking forward to Pixie, it did come out on March 5th. I know for people in the UK it's been out for a while, but definitely a film that I'm very much looking forward to, so definitely be on the lookout for that one. But also coming out on March 5th is another film that I don't think as many people know about, and that is Son.
Good night.
I love you, Mom.
David?
It's tough times.
David, wake up!
So Son, overall, this is one that I am kind of conflicted on, because I will say I do really like the premise of this film where, you know, you have this mother and she finds out her son has this really bad illness that is taking over him, and it's clearly having this very visceral effect on him, and, you know, she starts to worry that it's not just an illness, but that it could be some sort of like supernatural forces in that way. And I think that all of the acting looks good. Andi Matichak, I'm glad to see that she's getting more work. I really liked her a lot in Halloween, and I think she definitely is going to give a strong performance here for sure. The problem is, I just think it looks a little too generic horror movie for my liking. I mean, there are definitely some shots in this trailer that look like what we typically see in a horror film, and it doesn't really look like this film is really doing anything all that different, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, but just what I'm getting from the trailer, it looks like a very average horror film, and I think that's definitely something that could potentially bring this film down for sure. Like I said, I think the thing that elevates it is that the premise is a little bit different. It seems like it's really going to center on the mother and son conflict a lot, but how original is that going to be? Is that going to be enough to really elevate this film? I don't know. We'll really have to see. I'm quite skeptical when it comes to horror films like this these days, so when it comes to Son, I'm not dreading it or anything. I don't think it looks like a bad movie, but it's just not a film that I'm all that excited for, but it did come out on March 5th if you are looking forward to it. Also coming out on March 5th is another film that I'm very interested to talk about, and that is Crisis.
The kid got snagged at the border.
The courier?
Took a year of undercover work to get this far.
Maybe it's dangerous to press a big sale now.
Yeah, but what choice do we have?
Our product will be the first truly non-addictive painkiller.
What the hell is going on?
All the addiction centers are lighting up. And then by day 10, they're dead.
So Crisis, I'm not gonna lie, this is one that I was initially really looking forward to. I like the cast here a lot. You know, Gary Oldman, Evangeline Lilly, Greg Kinnear, Michelle Rodriguez, Luke Evans, Lily Rose Depp, Kid Cudi is in here, Martin Donovan. Really strong cast overall. That's definitely everyone that is in the cast. I'm totally not intentionally leaving someone out because of a recent controversy at all. But that aside, you know, I thought this was a really interesting premise. I like the idea of a film that wants to center on the opioid epidemic, but watching this trailer, it just doesn't look very interesting. I feel like we've seen films like this done before where, you know, it's centering on all these different characters that are involved with this specific event, and then they all come together, and I think the acting here is definitely going to be really great. I think that's probably going to be the high point of this film, but in terms of everything else, it just doesn't look all that interesting to me. I feel like this is a film that, like I said, we've just seen far too many times before, and I don't think it's really going to do anything different. I don't think it's going to tell us anything we don't already know about the opioid epidemic and things like that. So just in general, I just can't really find myself to get all excited for this one. Like I said, very talented cast, really good premise, but overall, it's just not a film that is really grabbing me at the moment. Maybe it'll turn out to be something better than I think it is, but right now, it just looks kind of generic to me. But if you are looking forward to Crisis, it did come out on March 5th, so definitely look forward to it then. Also on March 5th is definitely, I think, one of the most anticipated releases for a lot of people, and it is, of course, the highly anticipated sequel, Coming to America.
Hello, I am Hakim Jaffer, King of Zamunda. You are the heir to the throne.
Yes, my father. He's supposed to be like the prince of Wakanda.
Wakanda is a fictional place.
Not to everybody.
Zamunda is a very real nation.
I don't need no handout. Wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna pack. Okay,
Presenting King Hakim's son from America.
And my mom's.
And his mom's.
So, Coming to America, funny story about this one. It's a good thing I'm doing this movie preview now, because prior to like a week ago, I had not even seen the first film, so I had zero opinion of how I could really feel about this one. But the problem is now, I've seen both of these movies, so I can't really tell you if I'm, you know, looking forward to Coming to America, because I've already seen it. I will say that I think watching the first one, a sequel to this movie, is kind of unnecessary, and I don't really see what else they can really do with it, but that's really all I can say, considering that I have already seen this movie, and it's just not fair to talk about it at length anymore, because I've seen it, obviously, and that's kind of all I have to say. You know, you look forward to my review, and you guys will get to hear my thoughts then, but if you are looking forward to Coming to America, it did, of course, come out on Amazon Prime on March 5th, so watch it over there, but also coming out on March 5th, and I promise this is the last film, you know, I promise that's the last film that I have seen already in this movie preview. All the other films moving forward I have not seen yet, so you don't have to worry about that at all. But also coming out on March 5th is a film that I feel like not as many people are talking about, and that is Boss Level.
I used to complain that every day felt the same, and now every day is the same. Seriously. Shoes, pants, rip them, flip them. Okay, coffee, anyone? I don't know how this is possible, but I keep repeating the same day. Sorry, pal! As many times as I've seen this happen to my apartment, I still can't help but think I'm never, ever getting my security deposit back.
All right, so Boss Level overall, this is another one that I feel like has been getting delayed a lot. I feel like it's one of those films that a lot of people have been, you know, kind of talking about, but not into the... but not to the extent of some other films overall. And I have to say, I think this one definitely looks really good. You know, it's a premise that we have seen done before, the Groundhog Day type formula, but it seems like this film is going to do something legitimately different with it, especially with the, you know, this military operative and him going through this time loop on the day of his death. And again, that is something that we've seen before, but I think what's really going to elevate this film are, again, its style, which I think looks really good. The action sequences especially look like they're really well filmed here, and Joe Carnahan is a really good director in terms of action, at least for the most part. He's someone that I very much do trust when you have an action film, and I think he definitely is going to do a good job here for sure. I definitely do have some faith in him, and the cast as well here seems like the other thing. Frank Grillo seems perfectly cast in this film. It seems like he's definitely going to carry it very well, and you know, give us that badass action that we're really looking forward to, but also give us a way to make this premise feel fresh and original. And I just hope that is the case with this film. I think definitely there is a lot of potential with it, and I'm definitely looking forward to it more than I was initially expecting to. So if you're looking forward to Boss Level, it did come out on March 5th. Definitely watch it then. So those are all the things coming out on March 5th, or have already come out on March 5th. Raya and the Last Dragon, Chaos Walking, Boogie, Pixie Sun, and Crisis, Coming to America, and Boss Level. Now we get into the week of March 12th, which, of course, these movies came out already this weekend, but we are still going to talk about them, starting off with this first film, and that is Lawn Weekend.
Ready?
Yep.
Stars in flight.
You've never played with a sparkler?
Nope.
Run!
You've got to run with me. Come on! Forever tonight.
I met a girl.
You met a girl?
Won't go back, alley.
Forever tonight. I came to town to, I don't know, escape.
I had some emotional problems, and now I'm broke. My life is in total shambles.
Do you want to do shots? Tell me how you know, how you know, how you know. Tell me how you know.
So, Lawn Weekend, this is a movie where I really had no idea what it really was. It feels like it kind of came out of nowhere. This seems to happen a lot, you know, especially during the pandemic. These movies just kind of come out of nowhere. Suddenly they're coming to theaters, and I'm going to be discussing them, and in general, I just don't think this looks like anything that great. I feel like we get movies like this all the time where, you know, you have these, like, romantic sort of, you know, dramedy films, and it just doesn't seem like this film is doing anything that different. I will say Finn Wittrock and Zoe Chow look like they work pretty well together. I enjoy both of them as actors, and I think they could maybe elevate this premise a little bit, but at the end of the day, I don't really see much more from this other than, you know, it's this struggling writer that meets this woman, and then there's gonna be some like weird twist in there, and that's really gonna be it. It doesn't look like anything that original. It doesn't really look like anything that special, and just in general, I feel like it's a movie that I've seen 1,000 times before, and I just don't know what else you can really do with it at this point. Again, I want to hope that maybe it's gonna be something different, but this trailer just really did not impress me all that much, and it didn't really give me the sense that it's gonna deliver in the way that I really wanted to. So unfortunately, I can't really say I'm all that excited for this one. But if you are looking forward to Long Weekend, it did of course come out this weekend, pun absolutely intended, on March 12th. Definitely look forward to it then. But also on March 12th is probably the biggest release of this week for sure. It is the new Apple TV Plus film that I will be discussing with Jackson Fulcher, here to talk about Cherry.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing.
Hey, I'm really happy you're here.
Why is that?
Because I like you.
But there never seems to be enough time to do.
You're it for me.
I feel the same way.
I joined the army.
Why would you do that?
Sometimes I feel like I've already seen everything that's gonna happen.
So Cherry, overall, this is a film I've been looking forward to for quite some time now. I think the Russo brothers, especially seeing them dabble into something that's not a Marvel film, that has me very excited for sure. Oh.
The Russo bros?
Yes. Yeah, the Russo brothers, they're involved with this film. They're directing this film. And again, it looks definitely really different. The plot is one that I think we have seen before where, this college kid, he ends up, he goes to college and then he ends up dropping out of college to enlist in the military. And then he gets addicted to like opioids or something. But the way it's being done in this way where it's like 3 different kind of genres, I think is a really interesting approach. And I really do appreciate the ambition for sure. And Tom Holland, I mean, obviously he looks like he's going to give a great performance here. Tom Holland again, Chaos Walking Out, he's in Cherry. He's really just doing everything these days. But he truly is proving himself to be, one of the most talented actors out there. And I think he's really going to showcase that with this film. Sierra Bravo being in it is an interesting choice as well, but it seems like she's going to do a good job. It seems like the chemistry between those two is going to turn out pretty well. And just in general, this is a film that looks really special and definitely something that I feel like is going to further cement the talents of the Russo brothers. So I'm definitely very much looking forward to this. I think this film has tons of potential behind it. It sucks that it's coming out now because it is a film that people thought were going to qualify for Oscars, and now it's definitely not going to. But I think definitely this film has a lot of potential behind it. I hope it is another good film for Apple TV Plus because there really have not been too many good ones. And I just hope overall this turns out to be a pretty good film because I definitely have a lot of hope for it.
Yeah, we've had time now to see all the mixed kind of response this movie has had. But, the one thing that seems pretty true amongst all those reviews is that Tom Holland is great, which is, like I said earlier with Chaos Walking, he is a good actor. Like, he's a great actor who can make stuff work with his character. So I'm excited to see him in the movie. As far as the rest of it, from the trailer, it looks very intriguing. I'm excited to see how they're able to capture all these different moments in his life because they're all kind of, from what I understand, vastly different. I am worried about the style, though, because even in the trailer, there's moments in it where I'm like, it seems like the Russo brothers are definitely trying to insert some more directorial flair into the mix. But I've seen a lot of people say that comes to a detriment, though, to like the watchability of the movie, which is interesting. So we'll see how it plays out. It might just be like like me personally, I didn't like it, but other people might kind of situation. Like there's nothing like inherently awful about their style, but it's just not for certain people. So we'll see how it plays out. It is kind of interesting though, like with the Russo brothers, they just came off of like the biggest movie of all time, and people praise them for like they should get like best director noms for tackling these big movies. Winter Soldier to Endgame, that's like a huge leap. It's so amazing to see their talents grow. And then they cut to Cherry, and now their directing is being called into question almost. Like, hey, what the fuck were you doing? But we'll see how it goes. I know you, as a former opioid addict, will really relate to this.
I've done a lot of drugs in my day. I'm glad you know.
Yeah, you've robbed several banks.
So,
that's why
he's gonna take that out of context now and like try to paint me as like some drug addict. So Cherry, if you're looking forward to it, it did come out on March 12th on Apple TV Plus. Definitely look forward to it over there. But also on March 12th is another film that I definitely am interested to talk about, and that is Yes Day.
Heard about Yes Day? It's this new thing where parents say yes to everything their kids ask for 24 hours.
Radical! How am I just hearing about this?
Well, Yes Days are like fun, and Mom and Dad are like fun killers.
We are plenty fun.
We used to say yes to everything. We can be fun again.
Really?
Let's do this! Arriba!
It's Yes Day! Who's ready for Yes Day?
Ellie wants to do your hair and makeup.
I have a vision.
Yes. I'm glad you're using your watercolors.
So, Yes Day, I mean, I feel like I have movies like this every single month where, you know, there's a plethora of Netflix releases that come out. Some of them are ones I'm really looking forward to, and the other half are films like this that I really could care less about. I will say I like Jennifer Garner a lot. I think she is a very talented actress, and she's definitely someone that can carry a film very well. I also really like Jenna Ortega. I've been very impressed by her lately, and I think she's also an actress that is just naturally very likable and someone that I mostly root for, you know, with every film that she's in. That being said, other than that, I just don't really think this film looks that great. I mean, I feel like this is something that we've seen a lot where these parents decide they're just going to let their kids say yes to basically everything. And while they do have a few ground rules, like their kids get to like dictate what they do, and maybe that could make for a fun premise. Maybe there's something you can do with that, but I don't know. A lot of these family comedies on Netflix, they just don't seem to really work for me all that much, and I just don't see how this one's going to be doing anything all that different. And Edgar Ramirez as an actor, I just don't think is that great either. You know, especially I started to realize this, I think, especially in The Undoing. I just don't think he's all that great of an actor unless it's like American Crime Story. He was really good in that, but like aside from that, I'm just really not that big of a fan of him. And just in general, I just don't think this film looks like anything that special to me. So yeah, I'm not really excited for Yes Day, but if you are, it did come out on March 12th, so definitely look forward to it then, I guess. But also coming out on March 12th is another movie that I'm very interested to talk about, and that is Kid 90.
I remember Saved by the Bell director saying the minute you walk onto the stage, you're no longer a child anymore, you're an adult.
Did you miss me?
There were 12 kids in the business. We all knew everyone.
We would talk for 2-3 hours and fall asleep on the phone. We were just so close.
I carried a camera with me everywhere I went. We weren't concerned about the internet. We did the things that teenagers did. We just happened to be in Hollywood.
Hey, what's up? This is Mark Wahlberg calling for some legs.
It was all kind of innocent to begin with. Then it just...
So, Kid 90, this is the only documentary we will be talking about this month, but it's one that is very fascinating to me because it centers on not just a documentary about Punky Brewster, but mainly about Solly Moon Frye and how she became this child actress and how that almost has a negative connotation to it. Like, children shouldn't be involved in this stuff because they aren't looked at as children. They're put on this pedestal, and it seems like that's something this film is really going to dive into, but also capturing all of these home movies that, you know, Frye documented throughout her entire life, as, you know, throughout her entire childhood and later, you know, adolescence as an actress. And I think that definitely is a really interesting premise for sure. I think there's a lot that you can really do with that. And I mean, I'll just be honest, I'm not really a fan of Punky Brewster at all. In fact, I kind of hate it. The new Peacock series as well, I watched like 7 minutes of it. It's legit garbage. But this, on the other hand, this I really do think is going to be something special. I think there's a genuine story that you can tell here. I think it's going to get us to look at child actors a lot differently for sure, and that's something else that definitely does really excite me when it comes to this film. And just in general, this looks like a really informative documentary, and I really hope that's what this ends up being, especially again for someone that's not really the biggest fan of the actress, the show that this actress was involved in. I hope that this is still a really compelling documentary, so I definitely am looking forward to this one. So if you are looking forward to Kid 90, it did come out on March 12th on Hulu. Definitely look forward to it then. And those are the films that have already come out. Now let's get to the stuff that has not come out yet. We have easily one of the biggest releases that we will be talking about, if not the biggest release of the month for sure, and that is a film that I did not think was going to see the light of day, but I'm not alone for this one at all. Joining me for this one is Jackson Fulcher, and finally Timothy Anderson will be joining me for this one to talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut.
I had a dream. Almost like a premonition. I think there's an attack coming.
My lord, this world will fall.
need warriors. I'm building an alliance to defend ourselves.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at it.
So, Justice League the Snyder Cut. This is obviously a very interesting release because it's a film that a lot of people were saying we're never going to see the light of day, but people were really passionate about it. They really were pushing forward, trying to make it happen. And now it's finally coming out. It's coming to HBO Max. It was originally going to be a mini series, and now it's a 4-hour movie. And how do I feel about it? Well, here's the thing. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of the earlier DCU films. I'm really not a big fan of a good majority of them. Obviously, I like Wonder Woman. In fact, I love Wonder Woman. But Man of Steel, I didn't really care for, and then BVS especially, I don't like, and Suicide Squad and Justice League itself. What?
I was mouthing that he loves it. I didn't want to interrupt. I was letting the audience know that you're lying.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Throw back to when I used to have a BVS poster right here, even though I didn't like the movie.
I see. Well, there's your Joker poster, goddammit.
I do.
DC checks.
And here's my Justice League Steelbook.
Is that Justice League?
Yeah. My brother got this for me for my birthday.
Anyway, Justice League Snyder Cut is here, and I am of two minds about this. On one hand, I don't really care all that much about it because I'm not a huge fan of the other Zack Snyder DCU films to begin with, so I'm not really that excited for it. But at the same time, I am a firm believer of a creator letting his full creation shine to the fullest extent. And I'm glad that this is a thing because, Zack Snyder is going to be able to do just that. Justice League, the film, did not turn out at all the way he wanted it to. There was a lot more he wanted to do with it. I remember back then, even there were a lot of cut scenes and things like that. So there is definitely a lot of potential here. There's a lot you can do within those 4 hours. You can build on the characters a lot more, the mythology of Steppenwolf and things like that. There's a lot more they can do there. The effects especially look a lot better here. And I'm just looking forward to getting to see these characters hopefully done a lot better this time around. So again, I don't have that much anticipation for it. I'm really just trying to go in with as open of a mind as I can and hope that this can pleasantly surprise me. Hopefully this can be something really special. I just hope that it really is worth the wait. And it's not just one of those things where it's oh, you asked for it and it's not really anything that great, but at least it's a little better than the original. I do think this has potential. I hope it is something special. And that's really where I am at with it. So we'll get to see how it turns out. But Jackson, go ahead.
Well, I know deep down that you're really a big Zack Snyder fan. So, I
love
start a big fuss or anything,
I
know you're a big fan of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, but I am not. Unfortunately, I'm of the opposite end of that. I completely understand why people do like those movies, though, because they are very as compared to the other blockbusters we get, they're very different. So I can kind of understand appreciating them, but I'm not of that opinion. Obviously, I'm not a big fan. But obviously the stuff that was going on with Justice League back in 2017, even back then, it was this seems kind of shady that they're as much as yes, I like Joss Whedon's work on the first Avengers, at least Age of Ultron.
Not the second one.
Mixed bag. But at least the first one's I like his work on it. Sure. He could probably make a fun Justice League movie if this was his to begin with, but they're inserting him nearly last minute. And it seems very gross and icky. And there's been a lot of investigations about behind the scenes stuff, messy. So I'm glad that there's at least an attempt to rectify that and make amends to Zack Snyder and actually let him complete his vision, even if it ends up being something that we don't like. I'm glad that he actually had this opportunity. That being said, the trailers look, visually they look pretty good. I know there's a reason behind the aspect ratio that's still gonna take some getting used to, just because I'm always used to wide, but that's fine. But a lot of Zack Snyder's trailer, but I feel like a lot of Zack Snyder's trailers, even like the earlier BVS trailers before they showed like Doomsday, like those look pretty good. So I don't want to trust like, oh, trailer's good, so the movie's going to be amazing. But I do have high hopes because I think, like, judging from what they made Justice League into, like, I feel like a lot of issues like with BVS is just they tried to overcomplicate that plot, and this it just seems like they don't have a lot of room to put in like overly complicated nonsense. Like they have a lot of characters they have to introduce.
They have 4 hours to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, they have plenty of time now too.
Yeah,
and it's not as like, oh, there's like a conspiracy with like Lex Luthor and all this shit. It's like, no, it's just like introduce characters and just have them have a story. So I have some hope. Hope maybe it can be the best one he's done, but I won't be surprised if I don't like it just because his DC films just haven't been my cup of tea.
All right, Timothy, go ahead.
Okay, so unlike both of you, personally, I've been a huge fan of Snyder's work.
Kevin has been too. Yeah, he said he gave him like 10 out of 10.
Except for Batman v Superman, I did not like it the first time I saw it, and I really didn't like it the second time I saw it either. And it was all right. Ever since I saw 300, I've been a fan of his visual style. I thought he could do visuals really good. It's his stories, it's his screenplays and stories that need work, and maybe his acting at points. Some of his actors chooses Gerard Butler. I mean, all right, I don't know where I'm going with this. I was really looking forward to Justice League when it was coming out, and I was extremely disappointed with it because it wasn't what it was supposed to be. I was never really the biggest Joss Whedon fan going in either. I like the Avengers, but I'm not a Buffy fan. I'm not an Angel fan, so never really. Or I like Firefly and Serenity though. However, I hated Justice League. So imagine my reaction when I saw that this was in my collection when I woke up on my birthday. So
I'm surprised you still have it.
Timothy, I got you it's Justice League on Steelbook. I know you loved it so much.
That's like when my dad bought me Steelbooks, and he's like, "I know you love Steelbooks, even though I've talked about how I don't like Steelbooks."
You don't like Steelbooks?
No, I don't. They stick out from the rest of the collection, and they scratch. I like Digibooks.
Okay, yeah.
What about the ones that scratched when they fell off of your shelf that collapsed? How are they doing? Are they
Moment of
okay?
silence. Moment of silence. Moment of silence.
I mean, to be fair.
Hey, look at that.
So I mean,
I just have the regular.
I'm like I said, I'm a fan of Snyder's style, and I am excited to see how this movie's going to play out. I was waiting for it to come out and get announced. Only thing is that I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. I never did. I never thought the casting in the first place, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it this time around. We'll see. I'm excited, but I'm also worried. I'm 50-50. On the other hand, I am happy that Snyder's getting his full vision realized, and that, and that Twitter actually won something for once.
We did it, guys.
Yeah. The one time Twitter actually like does something good and not something problematic, and not says Cars 2 is the best Pixar movie.
Yeah, has Ezra Miller ever said anything about choking out that woman at one time though?
Yeah, that's
has that never been addressed?
Yeah, that really like went away, and it should very much not have.
Or like if it was like a misunderstanding, like you missed the context of us recording.
Looking forward to about the new Fantastic Beasts movie whenever the hell that comes out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Like,
I did hear, like some people say, "Oh, that might have been staged," but like
that's what I mean. Yeah, but because they never address it, it's kind of like, so is it staged or is this legit? So just mention it. Just say something, please.
No, please. It's like a week before the movie comes out. Ezra Miller canceled, and they cut him out of the movie.
We'll find out in the next couple weeks. When Justice League comes out, there'll be people going like, "Yes, the Flash is so good," and then people going like, "Well, what about this?" And then it grows again. So
we got to release the cut without the Flash.
the Flash out.
Yeah.
No, keep the movie the exact same, but and like just remove his dialogue, but characters are like still looking at him as if he's talking, so there's like dead air in the movie.
Yeah. But it will not be as bad as Henry Cavill's not mustache. It will not be.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The effects in Justice League are the worst. Oh God!
Someone's got to CG out Kevin's beard right now. He looked just like Henry Cavill.
Oh my God!
Oh, rubber mouth.
Okay, and off subject, but I remember seeing somebody say that they want to boycott Paramount for not allowing him to shave because of Mission Impossible 6.
No, that's so dumb.
No. I'm like, I'm not boycotting Mission Impossible. Screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That mustache was key. That authentic mustache was key for that.
That was the best thing about Mission Impossible 6.
Yeah. You could tell that was a real mustache and not one he stuck on.
Cancel Mission Impossible.
Yeah, for the mustache gate.
Yeah, cancel it. Done. You're done. All right. So if you are looking forward to the Snyder Cut of Justice League, it does, of course, come out on March 19th. Really hoping this film can prove me wrong and turn out to be something good. I really want to like a Zack Snyder film. I do. I enjoy Watchmen a lot, but, like, aside from that, I'm just not really the biggest fan of him. But hopefully this film ends up being something really special. Hopefully it is worth all of the hype and things like that. And I just hope he's able to make a much better movie than what it initially turned out to be. So definitely look forward to this one. But now we get to March 19th, where we have a pretty interesting film coming out for sure, and that is The Courier.
I'm here to open a door to the top manufacturers in the West. Will I be putting myself in danger?
If this mission was the least bit dangerous, you really are the last man we'd send.
Make sure you wear it while you're in Moscow.
What does this do? Shoot poison darts?
Everyone you meet, assume they're KGB. Every Russian is an eye of the state.
You'll just be a courier.
Just a courier for Russian secrets.
From now on, you will be selling one thing. The idea that you are an ordinary businessman and nothing more than an ordinary businessman.
So, The Courier, this is one that I definitely am very interested in for sure. I mean, right off the bat, the cast here is excellent. You got Benedict Cumberbatch, which looks like the perfect role for him. This guy that is just 1 second this regular businessman, but he ends up getting involved in this, he ends up getting involved in this whole, like, nuclear confrontation, and he's going to provide intelligence to, like, defuse, like, the Cuban Missile Crisis and whatnot, and it seems like he's really going to kill it in this role for sure. And then Rachel Brosnahan, I mean, you put her in anything, she's probably going to be one of the standouts of your film, and I'm excited to see what she really does end up doing here for sure. And then Jessie Buckley as well, really been loving her as an actress lately, so that already definitely does sell me. But then you look at this trailer, and I think this looks like a generally interesting story. I mean, the idea this guy has to pretend to be just a businessman, but in reality is, gaining all of this intelligence from what's really going on to prevent this whole crisis, I think sounds really interesting. I think there's a lot that you can really do with that for sure, and I think definitely seems like a film that could be very compelling if handled well. I know this isn't like an Oscar film or anything, but it definitely seems like a film that more people should be talking about. I'm glad that it is coming out. I remember, I think there was like buzz at like Sundance and things like that when it was first coming out, so I'm excited to definitely see this film for sure. Definitely looking forward to this one. So if you are looking forward to The Courier, it does come out on March 19th. Definitely looking forward to this film for sure. Also coming out on March 19th, though, is another film that I really did not think was going to see the light of day, but it's finally coming out after so many years. We have City of Lies.
I've seen the order book. Do you have any suspects?
20 plus years and not one arrest.
Are you guys hearing Tupac shooters were hired by Biggie's entourage?
Biggie didn't have Tupac killed.
The facts point to something more here.
If we could prove a connection between Cop and Biggie's murder, it would not only break the LAPD.
It would ruin the city.
All right, so City of Lies, I feel like I've talked about this film before, and maybe I did, but this film was supposed to come out, I think, back in, like, either 2018 or 2019, and it kept getting delayed, like, constantly. It just, for some reason, never came out until now, and now it's finally getting this release, and that's already not a great sign, I must say. I don't think it's a great sign very much at all. But then you look at the premise here, and I think while the idea of, you know, the homicidal investigations of Tupac Shakur and, like, Biggie, you know, that is very interesting. What ended up happening to them is devastating, and it's, you know, murders that still haven't really been solved yet. Focusing on these two detectives, it just does not look very interesting at all. And I'm sure Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker, like, are gonna give good performances here, but it just seems like one of those films where it's focusing on the least interesting subject matter possible, where there's generally a lot you can do with this premise. I think definitely this film could be a lot better if it was, you know, focused more on, say, the families of Tupac and Biggie. Not to mention, we had a show that came out a little bit ago called Unsolved: The Murders of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G., and I did not get a chance to watch that show, but from what I've heard, that show did do a pretty good job of delving into this, so I just don't see what this film is going to do all that well. I think there's definite potential for sure, but the fact that it's gotten moved so many times and it's finally coming out, that's really not a great sign at all. And again, it's another film where Johnny Depp just, I really wish that he would be doing better movies, but this is what he's kind of stuck with now, so we just kind of need to accept that for him, but it just doesn't really look like anything all that special. So City of Lies, if you are looking forward to it, it does come out on March 19th. Hoping it turns out well, but not really holding out too much hope for this one. Also coming out on March 19th, though, is another film that I definitely am interested in talking about, and that is Happily.
I don't want to be here.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know anywhere. Hi, Karen.
If you guys are still interested, we'd love for you to come on the couples trip.
Amazing.
What are we gonna do?
We have to pretend like nothing ever
You
happened.
never showed up to our door.
Hey, the first couple has arrived. Who wants a tour? How about this one? Oh, that's not a bedroom.
So there's a gun room.
We're gonna have a killer weekend.
Alright, so Happily, this is one of those films that really kind of came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know that this was coming out at all, and then I finally got around to watch the trailer, and I have to say, this is easily one of the films I'm most looking forward to this month. I think the premise of this film already is kind of insane. You know, you have this couple that they are so, like, overly affectionate and happy with each other, but everyone else that comes across them can't stand them because they are not in love in the way that these two are, and so there already is that problem. And then this man comes over to their house and says, oh, I can find a way to make you more normal. It seems like Carrie Bish is, like, you know, startled by what he says and then ends up killing him. And so now they have to cover up this murder together, and it gets them to, like, uncover, you know, loyalties of, like, some of their friends and things like that. And I just think this film looks absolutely bonkers in the best way possible. You got a really good cast here. Joel McHale and Carrie Bish seem like they're going to carry this film very well. The chemistry between them seems really good for sure. And in general, I think this looks like a film that definitely could be a lot of fun. It seems like a film that's really going to embrace its weirdness. It seems like a film that's really going to embrace just how dark it can really get, and that's something that I really do appreciate here. And just in general, I think this looks like one of those films that could definitely be a big sleeper hit for a lot of people. I see it being a film that a lot of people don't hear about, and then maybe it starts to get a lot of buzz and people really start to gravitate towards it, and I hope that's what it ends up being, because I think this film looks like a really fun one for sure if done well. So definitely call me excited for this one. So I am definitely looking forward to Happily, and if you are, it does come out on March 19th. Definitely looking forward to this one for sure. Also coming out on March 19th, though, is another film that I don't think a lot of people know all that much about, and that is Last Call.
You know, my friend, I will always miss you.
What are you still doing in the Heights?
Well, I like it here.
It's nostalgic.
Those are the days.
Hey, with your boys tonight. Yeah, we'll have a good time.
Listen, I don't drink the way I used to.
Well, neither do we.
Those are the days.
A casino in Derby Heights.
You get this done, and I'll make you my partner.
Trying to get some signatures, because we're going to be building...
Hey, Mick.
Hey, how's it going? Call me. It's a petition for the new casino zone. A casino would resurrect the area, don't you think?
Did you forget where you came from?
Hey. Oh, no, not this time.
So, Last Call, this is another one that I really did not know all that much about, but it is coming out, and it looks okay. I mean, I think the premise is one that definitely can work, where, you know, this man returns to his neighborhood, and he has to choose whether or not he wants to inherit his family's pub or just discard it entirely, and I think that definitely could make for a fun premise for sure. I mean, the cast here definitely seems like they're going to do a good job. You know, Jeremy Piven, Taryn Manning, Zach McGowan, Bruce Dern even is here, so definitely a good cast for sure. It just in general doesn't really look all that funny to me, and that's the thing that definitely does kind of bring it down for me, at least. It did take, I mean, it was filmed in New Jersey, so that's cool. Definitely love that, but like, aside from that, it just isn't really a film that really grabbed me all that much, especially in terms of its trailer. I'm just not really feeling much about this film overall, so you know, it's one that's kind of coming out, and I'm just talking about it. I might not even end up watching it. Maybe I will, but we'll really just have to see the way this one turns out. But if you're looking forward to Last Call, it does come out on March 19th. I guess look forward to it if you are. That's everything coming out on March 19th. Now we get into the week of March 26th, in which there are a few films coming out that we will be discussing, such as this first one, which I will not be discussing alone. Here with this one with me is Jackson Fulcher to talk about Nobody.
Heard you had some excitement last night. I wish they'd have picked my place, you know?
Why didn't you take him out?
I was just trying to keep the damage to a minimum.
Yeah, how's that working out for you?
You okay? Because you don't look okay.
There's a long dormant piece of me that so very badly wants out.
What are you still doing here, old man?
I'm gonna fuck you up.
So, Nobody, overall, this is a film that actually was supposed to, come out last month, and then it was supposed to come out next month, as in April. Now it's coming out in March. They've decided to give it a March release date, and I think this looks pretty good overall. I mean, yes, obviously, the John Wick comparisons are... What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I'm starting to realize that I can't keep that up for an entire... a 2-minute bit.
Yeah, it's really distracting, I must say.
I know. Yeah, so I should keep doing it then. All right.
I know. So I think definitely this, yes, the John Wick comparisons are very much there. People have brought that up before, but what's different about this one is that obviously, like, his wife is still alive. He has a daughter and things like that. And, yes, it's similar to the point where it's Bob Odenkirk kicking a lot of ass and things like that. But I feel like after that, that's kind of where the similarities stop. I mean, the film is about, him trying to help this woman that's like being harassed by like this group of men. And again, yes, it's a plot we've seen done before, but I think what's really going to work here is Bob Odenkirk. We know how likable he is as an actor, and I feel like he can pretty much pull off anything. So I feel like he's going to do a really good job in this film for sure. The action sequences look really good too. Every time I see this trailer, it's definitely like one of those films where I'm like, this probably has some really fun action sequences for sure. Again, I'm not expecting anything amazing from this film, but I just hope it's a really fun action movie. That's kind of all I'm looking for with this one. Really good cast as well besides Bob Odenkirk. Connie Nelson's in this, RZA. I just found this out now. I don't think he was in the trailer, but Christopher Lloyd is in this movie, apparently. Christopher Lloyd is in this movie. He plays like the He plays the father of like Bob Odenkirk, and he's in this movie. And I just found this out now, so I'm excited to see how he ends up doing. I hope he's in a movie that isn't terrible for once. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Not too familiar with the director, Ila Nasheller, I think is how you pronounce it. He did he did do some stuff on Hardcore Henry, which you guys he was the director of Hardcore Henry, which I definitely did enjoy quite a bit.
You did not just say like, oh, he did some stuff on Hardcore Henry. Oh, he did the whole movie? Oh, really? Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
I'm sorry. He directed Hardcore Henry. He directed Hardcore Henry, which I did appreciate quite a bit. So hopefully he does do a good job when it comes to this film, which I am overall looking forward to.
Yes, Nobody, from the director of like a couple shots in Hardcore Henry. I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be so great to see him finally direct a feature film instead of just a couple shots of Hardcore Henry, like Kevin said. I'm going to make you keep that in. You're not going to be able to correct yourself. But yeah,
I'm not going to overcorrect like he says in the trailer, where he's like, I might have overcorrected a bit.
I'm not somebody who like really loved Hardcore Henry. Like, say, I saw it at a South by Southwest premiere and walked out going, "It's the best action movie since Mad Max Fury Road. It's my favorite movie of 2016." I'm not going to say that about it. I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't think it was all that though. Well, it was enjoyable. It was definitely interesting to see them do like a full POV action movie. Like that obviously was really fun, but I wouldn't say it was like so revolutionary. Like it was good for what it was, you know? Don't try to overhype everything. I'm only really referencing one person, and I think Kevin really only knows who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But you know, seeing him now, we're not doing a POV one, we're doing like a straight up action thing without POV limitations. And like from the trailer, it looks like everything is kind of clear. Like it has like I know it's from the producer of John Wick, but it has like that John Wick kind of like everything in frame, heavy violence kind of action. It's like, yes, that's going to be really exciting. I'm really just looking for like a really kick-ass movie with Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad. I have not seen Better Call Saul, but he's good in Breaking Bad. I really, really love Bob Odenkirk.
Watch Better Call Saul, goddammit.
I want to wait till it's like mostly done, you know? Like,
it is.
Like when
we're on the last season.
No, because that season got delayed too. Like it's not going to come out until 2022 now. Like I don't want to wait. I just I want to see it all like I did Breaking Bad. Anyways, but yeah, he looks really awesome in this. I think he's going to be great. I know like there is comparisons to John Wick, and that is kind of like my worry. Not really because like, oh, it's just going to be like a bad movie. Just am I going to be distracted by the familiarities? Because there's like a certain part of the trailer where they reference like, you got out of this life, like kind of hinting at like, oh, like how John Wick got out of like that life of his with the organization and the people. He's pulling out some coins at one point. Is that like the shit that John Wick has? And so, you know, we'll see how that goes, but I don't think that's going to be like a fucking plane. I don't think that's going to be a detriment to the rest of the movie because it looks so fun already. And I'm really excited to see Nobody. And it looks pretty funny too.
So if you guys are looking forward to Nobody, it does come out on March 26th. Definitely excited to watch this one for sure. Also coming out on March 26th is another film that I thought was coming to theaters, and now apparently it's not. It's just a VOD film, but either case, it is The Seventh Day.
Father Daniel, I would like you to meet Father Peter Costello. Father Daniel comes highly recommended as our newest and finest recruit.
What did the Archbishop tell you about me?
You're the best exorcist there is.
What he didn't tell you was that they can teach you the prayers, but that's not what separates us from your average priests. You need to be willing to put yourself at risk. Change those clothes. You look like a priest.
Alright, so The Seventh Day, unlike Sun, which is a film that I think has genuine potential to be something different and maybe be a different kind of horror film, this looks like the textbook definition of just the generic possession films that we really end up getting. I mean, it follows like 3 different priests and them trying to like work, them all having like different methods, but they're all trying to like come together to stop this like demonic possession, and it's just like, we've seen this story done so many times before, and it doesn't really seem like this is going to do anything all that different. The CGI as well just does not look good here. It looks very low budget, and it's easy to see why a film like this is coming to VOD and not to theaters, so that definitely doesn't give me a lot of hope. Redbox Entertainment being behind it as well, that's also a little bit concerning. I mean, I enjoyed Shadow in the Cloud, but this just doesn't really look that great to me. I mean, the cast here isn't that bad. Guy Pearce, good actor. Definitely when you put him in the right film, he can be a really strong actor. Stephen Lang and Keith David, those are all really strong actors for sure. I just don't think this film looks all that great. It looks kind of boring. I feel like I know where this movie is probably going to go, and that's obviously never a good sign when you can already kind of predict a lot of what's going to happen. So I cannot say I'm really excited for this at all. I think this just looks like the kind of horror films that we get all the time. It doesn't seem like it's going to do anything that different, and so as a result, I just don't think I'm excited for this one. So The Seventh Day, if you are looking forward to it, it is coming out on March 26th. I guess, look forward to it if you are, but definitely not anything that really interests me. Also coming on March 26th, though, is another film that I don't think a lot of people know about, and that is Shoplifters of the World.
The Smiths broke up.
What? The Smiths may be dead, but all the albums are still here.
I wish there was a way to get all the posers in this town to take notice.
I did have an idea. Something that would go down in musical history.
Impress me.
What do you want? There is a young man in the radio station pointing a gun. So, for the rest of the night, I will be bringing you the music of the Smiths.
Don't touch that dial.
So, Shoplifters of the World, this one really took me by surprise. I did not really know what this was going to be very much at all, but just from watching the trailer, I'm definitely really looking forward to this one. Right off the bat, I really like the concept where it's these four friends and they're like obsessed with this band, and it hurts them so much that they literally end up hijacking this radio station and like hold them at gunpoint and make them play nothing but just music from this band. I think that's a really fun premise, and people have said, yeah, it is kind of similar to Airheads, but I think a lot of what this film is going to do is it's really going to show, how much bands like this have influenced people, especially in the 80s and things like that, and I think that's something that's really going to work well in this film. But also, the cast here is just great. I mean, you have, right off the bat, Helena Howard, an excellent actress that I'm very happy I'm getting to see more of. I loved her performance in Madeline's Madeline, and it seems like she definitely is going to do a great job here. Eller Coltrane, Elena Campores, Thomas Lennon, Joe Manganiello. I mean, really strong cast for sure, and I think that's definitely something that could really elevate this film overall. And I just think, again, this just seems like a film that is really going to take a lot of people by surprise. I really hope this film does turn out to be something special, and is one that I think I am generally looking forward to overall. So yeah, Shoplifters of the World, if you are excited for it, it does come out on March 26th. Definitely really looking forward to this one for sure. Also coming out, though, on March 26th is another film that I don't think I can say really the same about at all, and that is Senior Moment.
I am hereby revoking your driver's license until you're fit to drive.
Open the door! Open the...
Are you okay?
Just getting a beer. I'm going to take the test next week. Pass it with flying colors. Wow.
Oh my god, Senior Moment. This is a film that I didn't know what the fuck it was, but it's coming out and it looks pretty bad. I mean, this seems like one of those films where, and maybe it won't be, but I feel like we get films like this a lot where you have these really older actors, they're cast in these movies, and they're sort of made as vanity projects to keep these actors relevant and things like that, and this definitely seems like one of the worst attempts at that. I mean, the whole film is just some boring love story between, like, William Shatner and Jean Smart, and, I mean, good actors for sure. Jean Smart especially, I love as an actress, but it very much seems like, I mean, this is the film that William Shatner is doing in a while, and I just don't really understand it. Like, what is he really gaining from doing this film? I don't really know. And then Christopher Lloyd as well is not a great sign these days, him being in a movie. I know he's in Nobody, and I hope he's good in that, but like here, it just seems like he's playing that like annoying type friend that we see in a lot of these movies, and it just looks bad. It really does. I mean, the poster alone should give you a sense of what this movie is going to be like. But again, then you factor in all of the recycled elements that we've seen in other comedies, and I'm just not really looking forward to this one at all. I think it looks kind of terrible, honestly. And I just feel like we get a lot of these kinds of movies, and it just doesn't seem like this one's doing anything all that different, so I can't say I'm excited for this one. I think this is definitely one of my least anticipated of the month for sure. So if you are looking forward to Senior Moment, though, it does come out on March 26th. I guess look forward to it, but really not that excited. But also coming out on March 26th is another film that I feel like has been long overdue for a theatrical release. It is a new Netflix film, of course, being Bad Trip.
You seen these dudes right here? They stole my car.
The police are right there, though.
They're not helping at all. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta...
Oh!
Holy shit.
I'm sinking. Go get some butter.
Shit! It's finally time for that road trip. I'm talking NYC.
Shouldn't have taken my sister's car, man. She's crazy. She will kill us. Keep your mouth shut. Snitches get stitches.
If the squad ain't with me, then it ain't right.
We got 4 whole days. We can kick back, relax, and breathe in America.
We are the only black people in here.
You like to make a toast?
What are you doing up there? Get down.
I love you.
Come on, get up.
What is this?
The zoo? Come on, man, you know I love zoos.
I'm gonna get a selfie with the gorilla.
No.
Oh my God! Okay, he's a human being.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Hey, hey.
Why are our dicks in a Chinese finger trap?
Get the out of here.
Oh, my.
That's the craziest shit ever. We going to jail. That's a stolen car.
Maybe we can get somebody to help us fix it.
Same squad. Drop top, coupe, Dodge Range Drive.
What y'all looking at? Mind your goddamn business.
Don't stand under the DC.
I can't stand under him.
I'm from the street.
People from the street don't hang people from roofs.
Alright, so I'll be honest, I lied. I lied in the sense that there is another movie that I have seen before that I can't really say how I'm looking forward to anticipation-wise, and that's Bad Trip. And it's not my fault that I saw this movie early. It was leaked onto Amazon mistakenly last year, and so my friends and I took that opportunity and watched it, and it's a film that I do definitely have a lot to say about, and I will definitely have a review for you, but that's really all I can say, because I have seen this film already. A little awkward, I know. I wish there was more I could say about it, but that's really it. Again, I can't fairly say that I'm looking forward to a movie that I've already seen, but all I will say is that I'm glad this is finally coming out. I don't know why it's not coming out on Amazon, considering that's the thing that it was accidentally released on. But, you know, that's just the way things are turning out. And, Bad Trip, if you're looking forward to it, it does come out on March 26th. Happy it's finally getting released and looking forward to talking about it, but that's really all I can say in terms of this film overall. But also coming on March 26th is another Netflix film, and it's one that definitely is not as well known, and that is A Week Away. So, a week away, this is a film that should definitely be one that I am excited for. You know, it's a musical. It's got a pretty good cast in there. Billy Madison, David Koechner, Sherry Shepherd. You know, some really good actresses in there for sure. And it seems like a film that definitely should excite me, but when you look into the premise here and you realize it's more of a faith-based film than anything, it's not really one that has me all that excited. And again, I don't have anything against, you know, faith and things like that. It's just a lot of these films just turn out to be the same. They're very saccharine. They're very overly positive. They have this message that can be very alienating, and it seems like this is one of those kinds of films where, you know, you have this guy and he's very troubled and he's going to this Jesus camp where, you know, he ends up finding a place to belong because he's closer to God and things like that. And it's just like we've seen this done so many times, and I really do like Billy Madison as an actress. I'm glad to see that she's doing more stuff, but just in general, I can't really get excited for this one. I hope the music's good. I do. I like that we do have an original musical coming out, but it just doesn't really seem like anything that great. Maybe it can turn out to be like an I Can Only Imagine, where it actually does generally surprise me, but I'm not really holding out too much hope for this one. But a week away, if you are looking forward to it, it does come out on March 26th. Hoping it turns out well, but we'll really just have to see. And now, guys, we have made it to the final movie. I know this one was definitely on the shorter side in terms of movie previews, but you know what? This is definitely, I think, the best way to end it off. If it's not for Justice League Snyder Cut, this definitely would be the biggest movie of the month for sure. And coincidentally, I have the same exact people with me for this one. Jackson Fulcher and Timothy Anderson are back to talk to me about this final film, which is, of course, Godzilla vs. Kong.
It's Godzilla.
Godzilla vs. Kong overall. This is one that I am... What are you doing? Camera on or off?
I didn't know I could do that. Where
I turned off audio avatars, so like they just don't see you.
Gotcha.
So you're just like a voice, and it's kind of creepy. Wait, no.
Go ahead and talk about Godzilla.
All right, now he's backstage, so he can't even do that. You knew I was going to do that to you eventually.
Hey, that's the good Godzilla right there.
Oh yeah, I haven't even seen that one. All right, so
good.
Anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong overall. This obviously, I think, you know, aside from Justice League, is probably the big movie of this entire month. It's the film that everyone is really hyped for, and I as well am very excited for this movie. As you guys know, I've been pretty much a fan of the legendary MonsterVerse series. I enjoyed the first Godzilla. I really love Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I really did enjoy that quite a bit. And then Kong Skull Island, I really didn't care for at all. And this to me seems like the perfect blend of those two things. I think they're doing a really good job of, you know, taking what worked in those movies and also just not taking it too seriously. They're having a lot of fun with it. They recognize that this is kind of dumb. It is kind of goofy, and I think that's something that is really going to work here for sure. I mean, the cast here is incredible. I mean, Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Isaac Gonzalez, Julian Dennison, really talented cast for sure. And then obviously Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler being back. I really liked their characters in the second film, so I'm very excited to see what they do with them.
You can remember their characters from the second film.
And then And then the little girl as well seems like she's going to do a pretty good job here. And just in general, I think this definitely has potential to be a really fun blockbuster for sure. The effects obviously look really great. It seems like they're really going all out here. And I just hope at most this is just a really fun monster film that they don't take too seriously, that recognizes its full potential, and that I overall end up enjoying. And a film that I don't have to, that I can say that I like, and then is a film that I like and then isn't getting bashed by like everyone else. I hope to enjoy this film overall because I really do want to. So definitely one of the most anticipated of the month for sure.
Yeah, I had an interesting experience recently when the trailer dropped for this movie. First of all, it looks great, right? Like I know a lot of people are like, why did they choose that song? It's like, it's a fucking fight movie. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? It's badass.
It works.
It looks great.
It just works.
Yeah, it looks fun. Damn it. The visual effects look great. It seems like they've got a lot of great potential here for a good old monster beat 'em up story. Hopefully, it doesn't focus. Well, I hope like when they do focus on the human stuff, it's at least a little more interesting, because here's the other part of this conversation. I had an interesting experience rewatching the other 3 MonsterVerse movies recently. After I watched the trailer, I was like, I gotta get ready for this movie. I'm gonna get hyped. I watched the first Godzilla again from 2014, a movie I've long defended. And even like 2 years ago, I rewatched it. I was like, it's still pretty good. Like, yeah, it could have been maybe better. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Feels a little more mediocre than I remember. Then I watched Kong Skull Island, and I was like, that's about as mediocre as I remember it being. Yeah, that still checks out. And then Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I said this is the best one. It technically still is, but I found more faults with it, and I was like, I'm not sure how to feel about this anymore, because it's fun, but yuck. Not yuck, but could have been better. I hope that this movie doesn't make those same mistakes, or if they do, at least it's kept at a minimum and not just like overpopulating and distracting from what's important here. Adam Wingard, it feels weird saying like this is an Adam Wingard movie, because it's really not. It's like they hired him to do this movie, so it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Get that Godzilla money. But I have faith in his direction, at least because the action looks really fun. It seems like they're going to go like full bonanza action. Like there's that one shot where I don't know if it's Kong or if it's like a flashback to Kong's dad beating the shit out of those flying dinosaur things. Yeah. So like, holy fuck, that looks wonderful. Can't wait for the obvious reveal that there's a Mecha Godzilla or Ghidorah, but I think Mecha Godzilla running around instead of the actual Godzilla. Can't wait.
I'm just real for that if that happens. So I'm gonna fucking scream.
It is happening.
Me too.
Okay.
Yes, but it's very obvious.
Because obviously,
dude, yeah.
So,
they better do like the exact same thing, like with that other, like that really old Godzilla Mecha Godzilla movie we watched that one time. They better have like the same exact kind of reveal.
Well, I didn't watch that
just
movie.
the skin peels off. It's like,
oh my god,
I didn't watch that one.
It's epically boring, except for when they're on screen. That's the thing too, is like a lot of those older movies, like I haven't seen all of them, but like the ones that we've picked out to watch are just like, oh god, like there's just so much story literally in the way, and the monsters, they come up for like 5 seconds and then they cut away. It's like, it's even worse than the 2014 one. So
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of people's faults with half of the Godzilla movies. Is that the characters suck for as much time as they spend on them.
Yeah, but hopefully they got something working with this. It seems like they have at least enough potential to be like interesting, as opposed to just I'm here just to tell like 5 jokes and then that's about it. and not Roland Emmerich too. Just those characters are fucking awful.
Not great.
My apologies.
It's Typopolis.
That's a lot of fish.
Man.
Oh, Matthew Broderick.
That movie sucks.
Your turn,
That's you, Matthew Broderick.
Your turn, Timothy.
Okay. Damn it. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so obviously that's my thing. I'm Team Godzilla, so I just want to put that out there right now.
Team
the
Godzilla. There's no other team. Team Godzilla.
Yes, okay.
All right. With this MonsterVerse thing, being a lifelong Godzilla fan, with this MonsterVerse, I've been kind of steadily disappointed to enjoyed it. All right. One of the things that happens sometimes when you see a big movie like Godzilla is that you love it the first time you see it. You don't really notice any of the faults with it. And then you rewatch it and something clicks and you don't like it as much. That's King of the Monsters. Because I saw that shit in IMAX, fucking loved it, didn't like it upon rewatch. But I will admit that watching Godzilla fight is probably the coolest thing you could watch on a big screen besides the Avengers Assembly and Endgame. It was epic. It was amazing. And I'm excited to watch Kong and Godzilla fight against each other. Now, I don't like Kong versus God. I mean, I don't like King Kong.
You've already seen the movie? You know you're not going to like it?
Why are we doing this then?
Yeah. It's like if
you're right.
I want to talk about Bad Trip. We definitely haven't seen that already.
There is an original King Kong versus Godzilla, though. And it's in that set. So, bite me.
That's a good save. Good save.
All right. I don't like Kong Skull Island. It's basically style over substance. It's awful. Well, it's not awful, but it's not good. And I enjoyed 2014 for what it was. I got tired of them. Kevin, you're distracting me.
Oh, I'm just making fun of Jackson.
Here, I'll turn off my.
Jackson's making fun of you. Okay.
I'll turn off my camera to not distract you.
Thank you. Look, I'm excited for this movie. I can't wait. And I'm actually planning on watching it on HBO Max and then bouncing back and probably going to see it in IMAX. Just to, see it in theaters like I've seen every other monster movie in theaters. But I actually took the day off for this movie, right? That same day I took the day off and got it approved. They pushed it back a week. So it's like, oh.
Familiar?
I was like, okay, well, crap.
How dare they?
I don't know about you, Timothy. I went into work the next day. My general manager was there, and I was like, "Hey, those days off I asked for, can I change those?"
I went over to my boss, and I was like, "So, my sister's graduating, and I kind of need to be there."
So, at the end of March, yes.
Yeah, even though she graduates in May.
That's pretty weird. I thought you asked for the day off for this in March. What do you mean, May?
I already got that day off approved too. Anyway,
good.
I hope he's not watching this.
Oh, you better not.
Oops. I'm not his bot or associate anymore. So anyway, look, I'm excited for this movie. I think it'll be fun. Visually, it looks great. Characters might be good. The MonsterVerse has a history of shitty characters, so I'm not holding my breath there. Junkie XL score might actually be cool. I think he's using the original theme from Godzilla. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about that.
I forgot to
All right,
mention,
so now you're going to do...
Hold on. You brought up a good point, Timothy, of a Kong Skull Island. Like, when I rewatched it, I was like, because a lot of people were talking about, like, when are people going to admit Kong Skull Island is the best one in the MonsterVerse? And I rewatched it, and I was like, this is the best one? It feels like such a studio-made movie. It's so boring, too. Like, yeah, it has style, but, like, it feels like calculated style. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I did not disassociate, like, this is a Warner Brothers studio movie from, like, this is like a Jordan Vogt Roberts vision. Like, no, it's not. This is Warner Bros. But whatever. That's the best one.
Yeah.
It's got me a little worried about his Metal Gear Solid movie. to be honest.
Right. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on Me Film Fan 0599. It's really great to do a movie preview instead of a Mandalorian or WandaVision review. It's really great to be doing movie previews. It's just, oh God, another plane. It's really great for me, Film Fan 0599, to be here. But if you want to see more of me, go to my YouTube channel, Jackson Fulcher. I'm trying to change the name to Film Fan 059, but it's Jackson Fulcher for now. Check out my Twitter. It's at Jackson_Fulcher, or go to my letterbox, which is linked to my Twitter. So, like, yeah, not that hard to find. Okay, bye.
And we're done.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Kevin. My name is once again Tony, and I'm really glad that you invited me here.
Yes.
Can't wait to do this again next month. Because Mortal Kombat. Anyway,
Yes.
I'll see you guys next time, and I will be out of here now. Bye.
So if you are looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong, it does come out on March 31st. Tickets are on sale now, and I am very excited to see this one for sure. And with that, guys, we have made it to the end. I know that, again, there weren't as many films to talk about, but it's cool to see a month where there are generally a lot of bigger releases. I feel like it's been a while since we've had that, and it's really good to get to see that. You know, we're really starting to see things look up in terms of, you know, theatrical releases and things like that, so that's always really great to see. Of course, as always, thank you to my guests, Jackson Fulcher and Timothy Anderson. Really do appreciate both of you being here for sure. Comment down below the movies you guys are most looking forward to in March. Definitely seems like a very anticipated month for movies. There's a lot of stuff coming out that I'm very much looking forward to. But that's really it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I apologize for this video being late, as always, but it's not as late as last month, so at least there is that. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys in my next video, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.